Can you turn your mic on? Tom Duffy? John Righeimer?
Here.
Stacy Hessel? Brian Bissonette? Chris Rusk?
Here.
Chris, can you speak up again?
Yep, I can hear you guys fine on my end.
Okay, now we're good. What was it?
Because it's unplugged it and switched the audio to a weird.
Okay.
Nowhere.
So when I replugged it in, then it just didn't know where to go.
Right.
Oh, so it's in the McCormick house now.
Go back.
Yeah. Ready to go. Okay.
Line 2, okay.
Let's see. Well, let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Madam Clerk, the certification for compliance.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Okay, thank you. The meeting agenda has been set. The board have any additions or corrections? No? We'll move on then to public comments. Anybody here that wants to be heard at this time that isn't on the agenda? See no hands. We'll move on then to the minutes from last month. We have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Very well, it's approved. Let's see, the Sawyer County Ag Fair Association. Anybody here on the fair? We'll go back to you.
I know that they're planning the fair. I see the posts on Facebook, but otherwise I don't know.
Okay, then we'll move on to the University of Wisconsin. Lori,
Good morning, everyone. I just have a couple updates for you. One is that we have hired our support staff that will work across county lines. So she will be working in Washburn, Barron, Burnett, and Sawyer counties. And so she starts on the 16th. So at that time, hopefully we'll get some quarterly reports to you a little more often. And so we're looking forward to that. So there's a transition between Jody as well as now Cassidy starting. And so we'll work out those details and hopefully you'll get a chance to meet her. On the agenda, there was some communication about maybe Matt and Ariga presenting for the housing stuff that they did for economic development. That will be happening next month. And then for March, I have slated Foodwise to come and tell you a little bit more about Strong Bodies. I know there were some questions about that last month too. So those are my updates this morning, and then I will yield my time to the rest of the group. Thank
okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, then we'll move on to Hayward Lakes Visitor and Convention Bureau, and Sherry's not here.
I'm online.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're
That's
on.
okay. I'm just not feeling good, so I thought I better just keep it home with me instead of spreading it to the world. So I sent my report, and it's really fun because this time of year I love going over the results of 2023. And you know, you've heard me say over and over, marketing works. Well, this is where I can show you things that are happening. And so if you looked at page 1, there's a new metric that the Google Analytics is using, and it's called Engage Sessions. So if you look at that first line that's in the gray, it shows total users, sessions, and then Engage Sessions. That's more important, they found out, than like the number of clicks, or because it shows that somebody is coming and maybe just not landing on your page and leaving. It's showing that they're actually there, they're engaged, they're collecting information that they need, and they're finding our information useful and helpful, which is very important. And that's exactly what we're trying to do, is get people to look at our website and then actually make it to Hayward, so we can convert those visitors into the website visitors into travelers. So then I just got some other info there, like how they're finding us. You can see that mobile is, of course, growing bigger and bigger every year. And then under top referrals, this shows now they've put some control over tracking some stuff. We used to be able to see everything, and now which is, I mean, I guess is good for the consumer, but for our marketing person, it doesn't help us as much. But so we can't see everything that we get our referrals from anymore because they're trying to keep people's privacy. So some of the things that shows you how they're finding us. So Google's the top. So they went in and Googled something about us, and we came up. Direct, that means they have our website saved somewhere. And then Bing, Yahoo, Travel Wisconsin. Then if you turn the page, there's a couple more. Oh, actually, no. The next page is what states they're coming from. Wisconsin still seems to be, this is just website. So website, Wisconsin's still at the top of people who are interested in us. And then Illinois, and then Minnesota. Illinois and Minnesota kind of flip-flop every now and then, but it seems like Illinois has been beating out Minnesota the last couple of years. Then our top performing pages. This is the number one hit page is the webcam, and that I think is a lot of people are interested in our weather if they're coming here to do any kind of activity. So they like to look at the webcams. And then homepage, events, and then we have a trails page for snowmobiling, and then a trails page for ATVing. Then our outdoor report, activities, where to stay, dining, and then fishing is number 10. And then I also did just the top activities, what they're looking at the most. And snowmobiling, of course, is probably number 1, again, because you're probably looking to find out the conditions and how the trails look and that kind of stuff. So no surprises in the top activity pages. They're kind of the same year after year. Social media, we've got 5,467 Facebook followers. And then I just did like the top 5 posts on what people are looking at and what gets them to stay engaged. And the top one last year was some people sitting on a dock. And then sunsets are huge. We get a really good engagement with sunsets. And then we've still been doing some of the lodging features. And then they started a new program called Hidden Hayward, and they show a picture of somewhere in Sawyer County, and then you just have to kind of tell us where you think it is, and that keeps people engaged, and they have fun with that. And then fishing was number 5. Instagram is another big social media platform for us, and we have 2,967 followers. And then again, sunset was number 1. Then there was log rolling. 3 was the Muskie during the Hall of Fame. They do kind of cute things with the Muskie Museum. They put hats on them and stuff. And so 4th of July, they put on a hat, and people went nuts on that one. And then again, the Hidden Haywards, and then floating on the lake. YouTube has really increased excuse me, over the last few years, like I said, because we cleaned it up and we added keywords, and people can find us now. So we're very happy with that. And then Google search performance. So this shows you if you look to the right there, over 2 million people, they were Googling something and we came up. So that's good stats. But then 51,000 people actually clicked on us. So they might have been, fishing in the Midwest and Hayward came up, but then they really didn't want Hayward. They wanted Superior. So it's just good that we're out there and people are seeing us. And the other thing is with this new engaged sessions, it brings us up higher in the CEO rankings. And so that means that Hayward gets pushed up higher and higher in the search results, and then that makes us more visible. So things are looking really good. And a couple other little things I did write down was the visitors that we had coming into the information center. We were down the first half of the year, but we're higher than average on the second half of the year. So I'm not really sure what that's about. And then we also had less phone calls, but we had several more emails. So they're still communicating with us in just a different way. So lots of good stuff. Any questions?
Sure, I have a quick question. On the top activity pages, so they got the ranking, you have the ranking of the top 10. I don't know if you
Yes.
can get me, or if you have it in front of you, like, how does that break out numbers? So if like ATV is number 2 and hiking is number 6, how close is these numbers? You know what I'm saying? I mean, one's higher than the other, but
Yes, I have those numbers. I don't have them with me right now, but I can bring those next month. Easy enough. Yeah.
that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And then going back to your general website traffic, what's the difference between total users and views?
So total users means like if I keep going in there, I'm only going to be counted once. So, but if I went in there for different things, that's why the views are higher, because I might go in there 5 times a day, but they're only going to count me as a user one time.
Okay, so what's the most important number, the users then?
So the most important number, what we found out this year with Google Analytics, is the engaged sessions. So that number, that 95,195. So they're saying we have 98,000 users, but out of the 98,000, 95,000 are engaged. That means they're in there. They didn't just land on a page by accident. They're in there. They're looking around. They're finding what they want to do, what they're looking for.
Okay, good, thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else have any questions? Brian, any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Let's
Sure.
move on then. Northwest Regional Planning, Sheldon, you're on.
Morning, everybody. Can I move this?
Morning.
All right, we'll get a little taller. Here we go. All right, great to be here. Good to see everybody again. Happy New Year, 2024. Just give you a few brief updates. What's happening back in the shop. Back in December, we held our semi-annual Northwest Regional Planning Commission meeting here in Hayward, as we do every 6 months. Back in December, some of the topical areas we had Buckley Brinkman from the Wisconsin Center for Manufacturing and Productivity come in and give us the Wisconsin 2023 Manufacturers Report. He was our main guest speaker for the event. And then after that, we had a number of different speakers, including Wisconsin DNR, Wisconsin Department of Transportation. One of our staff members talked about our outdoor regional recreation plan that we're currently working on under a grant through EDA, Economic Development Administration. And then we had WEDC, Dave Worsba, the regional economic development representative from WEDC, Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. So they were all in attendance for that half hour, and then we adjourned, had lunch. So it was a really good session. We'll have our next meeting coming up the last Wednesday of June of this calendar year. Unfortunately, it looks like we won't be in Sawyer County. The facilities where we normally have it are booked for that entire week, but we'll be having that. Obviously, you're all invited for that event. Some of the things that are happening in the shop, again, right now, Emily Nelson on our staff is working with Sawyer County, Price County, Taylor County, and Russ County on the development of an application for the All Hazard Mitigation Planning Grant. It's that time of the year where the 4 counties are working together and have over the last many, many years to develop a regional 4-county hazard mitigation plan. So Emily's working with Taylor County. They are the lead county. They're the ones that are making the application and will be the administrative function for that program. So Emily Nelson in our shop's working on that. I'm working with the Riga still on the the HHW, Household Hazardous Waste events. We're looking at a September event this calendar year, so we're setting dates for that shortly. A couple of comp plans that we've updated include the Town of Hayward, a comp plan update here this last year. In 2023, Round Lake as well, we did some maps for their update. And then in addition to that, Sand Lake still has a contract with us for a comp plan update. That's been kind of pushed back a few years. There's at this point, they weren't ready in 2022 or 23 to move forward with that project. So we're hopeful that will occur yet in 2024. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Sand Lake COVID project that the Planning Commission assisted them with back in 2021 during the COVID dollars that were coming out to communities. If you recall, I think I reported on this a little bit, but the town of Sand Lake wrote a grant, or we assisted the town of Sand Lake writing a grant to Department of Administration here in Wisconsin to actually fund a project that Hal Helwig had to do a food pantry. That food pantry grant was awarded. It allowed them to have access to about $90,000 in funds from the state, COVID dollars at the time, to develop and operate a food pantry. That food pantry is still active. The grant ended in March of 2023, but it was very successful and still is very successful. I know, talking to Mark Helwig, they're always looking for other financial opportunities to help support their organization. But I guess just as it relates to the overall number of people that came to that food pantry, and still today. So under that grant, about 850 people, individual households, had gone to the food pantry for services, and that's a significant number for a small community like that. And if you were to look at the numbers as it relates to the qualifying low to moderate income persons, so that's people 80% or below the county median income, that number was significant as it relates to the number that were served. Probably upwards of 90% of the people that attended or that came to those functions were low to moderate income households. And that's really what that grant program was targeted to do. They spent roughly about $88,700 is what they spent. They had a grant of about 90 grand that they could spend. So again, very successful for them. And then just lastly, I wanted to talk about a project that Megan Motter is working on in our office. About a year and a half ago, we hired Megan to really help as it relates to the natural resource component part of our organization. The primary contract when she started was to work with the Long Lake Association in Washburn County doing lake management. She was successful in writing a grant for a lake management plan for their community over that lake. And I just wanted to report to you today that she's also working with the Lake Association group, I should say, here in Sawyer County. So Megan is working with the Quiet Lakes Improvement Association. That includes the lakes of Lost Land, Teal, and Ghost Lakes. She's working with them and has been for the last several months. She just completed an application to the DNR for a large-scale lake management grant, primarily targeted towards water milfoil management on those 3 lakes. So she's working with them, and if that grant is successful, she'll continue to work with them on the administration of that project. So that's my short update. It's been a few months since I've been here. I apologize for that, but just scheduling and everything else. So Joy Melton, I think I've mentioned previously that Joy Melton is our new economic development specialist in the office. I don't know if you saw some of the some social media, but she's been working and trying to work with the Sawyer County Gazette in Southern Sawyer County to try to find some opportunities for them for some financing for some activity that they're looking for. But again, she works with all of the chamber and others here in the community. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Do you looking forward on grants? Are they drying up? You think they will be drying up, or are this money still available?
Money's still available, and I'm sure Adam's going to talk about a grant he's got to do in about 2 weeks, but there's still grants out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, COVID dollars that were coming down from the federal to the state were unprecedented. So there was a lot of activity at that point. I would say we're back to mainstream. Your main grant programs, HUD, emergency management, other functions. So there's still dollars there, but they're just your normal ones that we would have seen over the last 20, 30 years.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, anybody? Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to economic development. Adam.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
The Sawyer County LCO Economic Development Corporation also had their annual meeting in December. We had a couple speakers. We had UW Extension come in and go through the housing market research study. And we also had Dave Armstrong from Barron County EDC come in and give us an overview of what they do in Barron County. Specifically with work experience, getting people to work, and as well as he's done some creative things with housing. So that was a good meeting. In December, we sent out a sponsorship letter, but most of it, and my intent was not just to collect monies, but also it's an educational piece. I get the question a lot, what does the EDC do? What is your purpose? So I think part of what we're doing is educating and giving some highlights of what we've accomplished over the last year. We also have, as well as the Hayward Chamber of Commerce, met with the intermediate school and the middle school to bring junior achievement, which is it's a curriculum. It would be 3rd grade all the way up to 8th grade. And basically it kind of brings business curriculum to students at a younger age, and a little bit of financial literacy to middle school students that they wouldn't possibly get. So we feel like it's a great opportunity. It would come at no cost to the schools. It would just, right now it's in the curriculum approval stage before it gets approved. Once it gets approved, Junior Achievement would work with us on finding the money available to pay for it. And we may need to collect as well, ask for fundraisers or ask for donations, but a lot of times they do have some grants available. So that, excuse me, that is in the works. The homes update, the Northwoods Tech Impact 7. I also met with Luke Burl at the Hayward Hospital, and his update to me was everything is a go. So as far as he knows, and he's going to keep me updated if something changes. But we're hoping that they can break ground sooner rather than later. And last but not least, I wish I had 2 weeks. There's a Thrive grant that's due on the 16th. And basically this project, the question mark is the project that we are going to choose from. We can do multiple things. Hopefully we'll have that decided by today. And next meeting, I'll be able to explain exactly what we're going to do. It could be anything from community development to incubator program to it actually has a wide variety of options. It's more about what is the highest need for us in Sawyer County. So hopefully I'll have more information on that, but it's due on the 16th. So in 1 week it'll be submitted. So that's what I got
Okay.
today. You guys have any questions?
Any questions, anyone? Okay, good. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the next, then is the libraries. Who wants to go first? Winter,
Good morning
good morning.
and Happy New Year. Ann Larson, Assistant Director from the Hayward Library. And before I put up our bookmark for this month, as you can see, we've got a lot of activities going on, and we're trying to add more adult activities this coming year. As you can see, we've got the reading bingo that is sponsored by Backroads Coffee. So we're working with them for prizes. You've got the bingo sheet in front of you, and people can also use it on our app through Beanstack, which was purchased through DPI for all the libraries in Wisconsin. So we've got that. I don't need to go through some of the details, but some of the adult programs we have coming up is this week. We have trying to start a writer's workshop and trying to keep that going as a monthly program. We're hoping to do that. And that is being led by one of our clerks, Sean Jensen, and also Ross Metcalf. With we've got, I think last time I looked, we had like about 8 people signed up. So a couple more. Good. We have another family activity, a snowtacular that's geared for children 4 to 11. We've got the teen and tween. And the other cool thing we have is on January 27th, an ultimate jigsaw puzzle battle. So what people do is we're going to have groups of 2 to 4 people per group. And we're going to have hopefully 6 groups. I think I had 2 or 3 signed up already. And whoever finishes the puzzle first, or who has the least amount of puzzles left after 2 hours, just gets to win the puzzle. The other things that I wanted to point out this month, Molly and I will be working on annual reports, so we'll have some more figures for you from 2023. And last month we did work with the environmental school. They volunteered to help move books out of our used book room because we had new carpeting installed there and in one of the study rooms. And the previous month, we also worked with the environmental school. We spent about a half a day with them, teaching them how to do research paper and get research, not the, phonetics in terms of English, but how to do research for a research paper. Any questions? Thank you. Hopefully you'll play bingo.
Molly, you're on.
Dance with me.
Oh, yeah, okay, you don't have anything to add. All right. Then let's move on to motorized trail. Kathy filed a report. Did you all get that? I haven't had a chance to read it. Yeah, I got a copy of it. Yeah.
You had the open copy.
Oh. Well, I will pass it around and you can read at it. And then while we're doing that, we'll talk about the non-motorized. I've given you all a copy of Ben's note. The Berkey is 7 weeks away. They're making snow to meet the ban. At the present time, they've got 5 snow guns. They draw from 2 wells and they draw 100 gallons a minute for those guns. What they have weather like last night, they make snow all night long, but in warmer weather, the temperature has to be at least 25 degrees before they can make snow, because when they suck snow out of the ground, it's 42 degrees. So they got to cool it down to 32 before there's any snow making. So what they were doing is drawing water out of a pond, and the pond is air temperature and much cooler than well water. So at the present time, they have buses of training schools all around the area. There's more snow here than in most areas. Most of the ski areas use their snow making equipment for the downhills, and the Berkey's got it all for the cross country. But again, 7 weeks is coming. Every flake of snow that falls, they roll, try to preserve it. So the whole trail's been rolled, and hopefully we get more snow. Although the forecast doesn't look that great, but we're still hopeful. So the problem with snowmaking is you have to have pipes that go all the way to the edge of the trail. So they've got a network of cloverleaf trails, so they can do a series of loops to get the distance in. So they're still optimistic that they can have all these races. They have a race this weekend, the Sealy Hill Classic. There they'll hope to draw 1,000 racers. They're still able to accommodate them. So, but it's a busy place. So keep our fingers crossed. Yeah.
Kathy did ask that this be read at the meeting.
I'll read it in.
You want to read it? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Kathy did submit a report, and so the audience and online and in the room knows the report. I'll just go through it. Good morning. It's an odd start to winter. Not only are our county businesses awaiting the arrival of snow and snowmobilers, so are surrounding counties. The cold weather is finally freezing lakes, and the trail beds are now refrozen and ready for more snow. ATV riders have been trying to make up for some of the revenue lost by the lack of snowmobilers. All trails are open for ATVers to ride other than in the Flamingo River State Forest. in the southeast portion of the county. Once grooming starts, UTVs are not allowed on county forest land trails. Some groups have been organizing rides. On December 30th, a group of 28 machines rode through Sawyer County on a night ride. It was close to 50 people on this run, and at least half of them booked overnight lodging in Hayward. This group also dropped $2,000 on gas, food, and beverages at our local establishments in just one night. AWSC, that's the Association of Wisconsin Snowmobile Clubs, held their winter directors meeting at Hartwood Resort over the weekend. Instead of the planned snowmobile ride, the Minong Club took directors on a fun ATV ride to area businesses. Senator Romaine Quinn came and spoke to our directors over the weekend, and we were pleased to have his support and recognition as to how much we bring to the northern economy. AWSC is now exploring a professional, comprehensive economic impact report for the state. If anyone has any questions, they can reach out to Kathy.
So apparently the lakes are safe, Andy.
I would never, ever say that. Yes, I can tell you from having to post snowmobile trail conditions, we'd always say like never consider any frozen water body safe
Yeah,
because
yeah.
conditions change.
I wonder what effect the lack of snow has had on tours. Are they going, where do they go? There's not much snow in Michigan either. So, right?
They're ATV.
Yeah, the four-wheeler, side by sides, I guess. So, but you look around town, there's still a lot of people. Bars are full, and coffee shops are full, and libraries are full. Whatever. Okay, thanks, Andy. Let's go on to broadband. Do you have an update that you want to give us?
Just a brief one. We're getting more BEAD information, and the final rules are coming around. Supervisor Peters and I are going to get together later this week and go through the BEAD rules and see if Sawyer County has any comment on them. Other than that, we have not heard back on any of the grants that have been applied for.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then I'll go on to the LCO update. Is Brian on? Huh?
Chris is on.
Oh, Chris, can you give us an update as far as the LCO clinic?
Yes, sir. Things are coming along. The whole building is up. They're starting on the interior work. The only holdup they still have is they still don't have power from a main company. They're having troubles with the lease or something like that. Other than that, though, the bill's coming along well.
But construction goes on full speed.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how they're doing it. They're building it off generators, I guess.
Okay, all right, good, thank you. The Historical Society, Mr. Ferguson.
Well, we're just starting our winter hours now, really. November and December, we are closed, although we were open a couple days and a number of days by appointment, people doing research and such. This month, we have our quarterly meeting on January 25th at the library. And the speaker will be Patricia Lacey, a local author. She wrote The History of Hayward and Sawyer County Sketches. Historic Hayward and Sawyer County sketch. Very good book. It has chapters on the gangsters, the Ojibwa coming here, early resorts, fishing, a number of things. It's very interesting. Want to know a little more about like the hideout. There's a chapter on that, or the interaction between the gangster Joe Saltis and Ernie Swift and the other wardens. It's quite some good stories about that. And she'll be our speaker. I think her book sells for, I think it was $15, but it's a very good book.
What's her name again?
Patricia Lacey. She's a local person.
Okay.
So that'll be at the library on the 25th.
Okay.
At 7 p.m. So if anybody has driven by the museum, you may have noticed our logging sled is now loaded with logs. Looks very nice. A pretty good sized load. So next time you drive by, just turn your head and look. You can't miss it. Uh, Hopefully, it'll draw a lot of people in come this summer, that see it and just stop to see that and then come in and see the museum. Other than that, like I say, we're just getting started for the winter season. And we stay on these hours Thursdays, 10 to 2 until Memorial Day. And then we go on our summer hours, which is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, noon to 4.
So your hours are Thursday from 10 to 2.
Thursdays from 10 to 2 right now, up until Memorial. From Labor Day to Memorial Day, that's our hours, except starting this year, we closed in November and December because of the holidays and trouble getting people there and stuff. But then, come summer, we're there 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Good. So all you need is a horse to pull that sled around the site here, so.
We're thinking about stealing that big horse that's in front of the, the Rice Right. They
Right.
always have that big horse, Budweiser horse out there. We thought maybe some night we'd go grab that and put it on the,
And there's a couple of big cows over that way too. They can hook onto the logs full.
yeah.
Okay. Any questions? Tracy, yes.
So you're just run off of volunteers, correct? You just make your money to operate by donations.
Pardon me?
Do you just make your money to operate by donations? You're just run on volunteers. Nobody gets paid when they work on Thursdays, correct?
Yeah, Thursdays, we have a few volunteers. In November and December, one of our volunteers came in even though we were closed. Hazel John Jack, she just likes to come in and work. So,
So you keep the place warm then inside?
hmm?
You keep your place warm? Is the heat?
Oh, yeah, we never turn the heat off. The bunkhouse in back, there is no heat in that, but the other building, yeah, we keep the heat on.
Good.
When I first came here, there was no heat in that building either, so we were closed in the winter. We didn't have a furnace.
Okay,
Now we keep it going.
good, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Mandy? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, future agenda items, anything we should add to the list we don't have? Any correspondence from any conferences we've got? Eddie, anybody? Okay, well, then we stand adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Stay warm.
Thank you. Have a good day.